Welcome back to the On Deck Circle podcast. I am your host, Nick Zaniboni, with my co-host, Jason Beckner. How are you today, my guy?
I'm good, man. I'm good. It's weird. Is that a live? Is that a live button?
We are live. I didn't know we told the viewers when we weren't live, but hey.
We're live today.
Here we are. I just want to thank you, Jason, for amending all of the schedule for me. I am quite the diva. I'm starting to get a reputation. But hey, stuff happens, and I'm just thankful that you're a graceful co-host and you're helping me out. So thank you.
I mean, you're an MBA now, so
I do.
You gotta.
Indeed.
You're almost like the senior leader of this, just based off of MBAs alone.
Merit. Yeah, Joe, pay me more. I guess I don't know. So we're gonna go with my cold open question of the week. Tomorrow is one of my favorite days on my sport calendar. It's the NBA draft. We all know about Victor Wembanyama. Threw out the first pitch for the Yankees yesterday. It was awful. His hand basically overlapped on the baseball, which was a crazy image to see. It was one of those things. I don't know if you've seen them.
It looks like when I hold a marble. When I'm holding a marble, that's what he looks like.
Some of the socials put out if the Red Sox win, we'll make Devers' hat bigger. It felt like it was if they win, we'll make Wembanyama's hand bigger. That was where I was at. So that brings us to the cold open question of the week. I want to know, out of your four teams, who would you want to have the first pick in their draft? Just I'm not saying it's a Wembanyama year. It's just which team do you want to pick first? Ready, set, go. All right. What do we got?
It's kind of funny because the Chicago sports team now, we have nothing but first overall picks. And we already just had the team I would want to have the number one overall pick, and that was the Bears. And luckily for them, they didn't need a quarterback, so we were able to trade it and get a haul. But yeah, I mean, I feel like when it comes to draft and draft capital, football is king. Obviously, unless there's NBA is a little bit probably second. Just when you get years like this where there's can't miss prospects, or LeBron James is coming in and you can guarantee yourself a player like that. But yeah, it's gonna be for me the Bears. But yeah, so far I think in the last 20 years, the Bears, the Blackhawks, the Bulls have all had the number one overall pick. So as a Chicago sports fan, I'm similar to that.
Was Bryant one? No, Bryant was two.
Bryant was two. So yeah, the Cubs have not had the number one overall pick.
Wow. I would go with the NBA just because it is you are correct with the whole trading down thing. But just player wise, I feel like basketball players, since it's such an individual game.
Yep.
That people forget Cade Cunningham is a very good basketball player. He's gonna be a perennial all-star. The 1-1 in basketball, I think, just means so much. And, you don't really see the bust. We have, the Anthony Bennett's. We have the Odins. But,
even Wiggins is good now.
Yeah, they always pan out. They're always, a rotational piece. I feel like there's a lot of those. Maybe not so much. For football, if it's a quarterback, like next year. So, if you were to tell me that my choice is Caleb Williams – who's the
Derek
Wembanyama? Who's the guy for the for the Blackhawks that his guy?
Connor Bedard.
Connor Bedard. Who's the LSU kid, not the pitcher, the other one?
Dylan Cruz.
If those four are on the board, I'm probably going Caleb Williams just because he's the quarterback and he's the quarterback. But if it's this year's class, I don't know. I think I would go with Wembanyama just because he is definitely that guy. But
yeah, like I said, there's those certain years where you can get game changers at the 101 in basketball.
He's too skinny though. He needs to.
He's got to bulk up. Yeah, I mean that's what they said about the Greek Freak too, and look at him now.
Yeah.
Also, speaking of real quick before we get to basketball, your C's made a trade today. It's not complete yet, but
people that are too skinny.
Yeah.
I've been going through the motions. At first, I see the first tweet. I was like, okay, like let's see what it is. Now I'm all aboard. I'm gonna get a Porzingis jersey. It's gonna be a thing because I didn't realize he's 28. Like he's been because these Europeans come over so young. He's almost been in the league for 10 years.
Yeah.
I don't know though. It's an injury thing for me, but like who they gave up, Brogdon, also an injury guy. So like
and Gallinari, who's got to be like 35 years old at this point.
As long as Tatum and Brown are happy, that's all I care about. Those are my two guys. And Porzingis is 28, so he fits that hole. And I saw a tweet that they might extend him. So like if it's more than a 1-year rental, I'm into it. But I'll be there. I'll have my unicorn shirt on or some shit. But
yeah,
it's fun to have someone to look forward to seeing. Like a new face. So last year they got Brogdon. And I was like, okay, like he won Rookie of the Year. I'm excited to see him like this season. But like Porzingis is a name. He's gonna start for this team, and he could be a number 2 on a good team, like a decent team. A number 3 on the Celtics currently with Brown, Tatum, and him. So I'm excited.
It's enough basketball talk, man. The Bulls don't have any picks, and I'm depressed because they're stuck in mediocrity. So let's get on to some baseball talk. Before we do, though, take care of some business here. Head on over to fantasy6pack.net. /plans. You can subscribe to become a member today. Get tons of great content by becoming a member. Access to our Discord. We get, you can interact with all the Fantasy Six Pack writers. Get answers to your questions. Customized questions on our Discord. You get a ton of great articles, rankings, all that great stuff. Head on over to fantasy6pack.net /plans. Become a member today. So last week, that's for the business. Last week we talked about some of these rookies that have been making an impact for themselves and a name and rising up. So it's only appropriate that I think this week we kind of talk about, some of the stock down guys that, maybe, looking to sell or, maybe even buy low. But the first guy I want to talk about today is, a pretty big name here in Corbin Burns, starting pitcher for the Brewers. He currently is starting pitcher 29 on the season, but he's down 3 spots on the Fantasy Pros Dynasty rankings. It's not a huge jump, but he's having a bit of a rough year, as most, if you look at the ERA totals for starting pitchers this year, it's actually absurd. But anyways, his K rate is down, the walk rate's up, his ERA is up almost a whole run per game, and he actually has a FIP of 4.25, which means he's actually somehow pitching better than he should be. Still has 8 quality starts though, so he has been bad, but he has contributed decent enough to remain in the top 10, I feel like, in dynasty rankings for starting pitchers. But he's still ahead of guys that let me ask you some names. We'll go with this real quick. Some names that he's ranked ahead of in dynasty. Who you'd rather have?
Okay.
Aaron Nola.
No. Burns.
Zach Gallen.
Yeah,
Gallen's having a really good year. Justin Steele.
Burns.
Here's a real tricky one because both have been bad. Sandy Alcantara or Corbin Burns.
Sandy.
So yeah, that's kind of where we're at right now. He's, like I said, he's still a top 10, dynasty pitcher.
Can you give me a bat?
What do you mean?
Like a batter that is around there, like a hitter, just because there is a pitching tax. So like, I would like to see what batter around there I would.
So you're saying if you want, you'd try to flip him for a hitter? Yes,
if possible.
Okay, so well, answer me this. If you own Burns, are you holding, buying, or selling? Or even if you don't, are you selling Burns if you have him?
I think 2 or 3 weeks ago we had a conversation that was like similar to this, and I pulled out the old he's doing this on purpose to tank his value.
Yeah.
And Jason, I think I was wrong. I don't know what this is. I don't like it, but
okay, I have some names, some hitters in that same range. And you're gonna be kind of shocked on some of these names. Austin Riley.
Yep.
Who would you rather have, Riley or
Riley?
Was it? Okay. So since there's a little bit, in Dynasty, there's always going to be a heavier ratio towards, or the value's higher on hitters. So let me drop down because it's like Mike Trout, Bryce Harper, Manny Machado, all of them I'd rather have. So let's go down the list just a little bit. Maybe guys that are 10 spots lower him that are hitters. Wander Franco. That's kind of unfair. He's like,
geez, this is an awful exercise.
Matt Olson.
Yeah.
Or Corbin Burns.
Smash.
Corey Seager or Corbin Burns.
Smash. Seager's been
unbelievable. I'm gonna go. Okay, we're down to basically like top. So you basically top 50 hitter as what we're basically at.
Yeah.
For a top 10 starting pitcher.
And what's great is you could probably even get something else. Just because Burns is a pitcher, and you could be like, oh, he's gonna get traded to the Yankees soon. Maybe like the Reds will go after him.
Yeah, there's a good chance that he does get traded too. Coming up. He's not under contract. He's having a down year, which a lot of teams could see that as an opportunity. Swing in, buy low on him, and then all of a sudden he's going to be an all-star after the trade deadline.
Yeah, I mean it's possible because he's tanking this on purpose. But in all seriousness, I know we all see the regression monster on Twitter.
Yep, one of my favorite things, Mike Kirkland.
All of the pitchers have been so bad. It's been so like Marcus Stroman. You could legitimately make a case that he could win the Cy Young.
He's the league leader in ERA right now.
Like he's been so good, and like guys like Corbin, like it's these young tiered guys. Not like Corbin Burns isn't like 23, but like that like tier of pitchers really struggling right now, and I don't know what it is because they've been so consistent, but at some point you've got to be like, oh, maybe like something's wrong. Is it the pitch clock? We saw Lance Lynn strike out 16 guys the other night.
And he's been awful this year.
Pitching's just been so hard to read this season, and that makes it fun, but it's just I don't know, man. It's fucking wild.
It's really this year's pushing people's dynasty pitching depth to the limits. I feel like there's injuries, ERAs are through the roof. It's been rough out there for people that don't have any. Like if you don't have the SP depth, you could be in a world of hurt in your dynasty leagues. So it could be a good opportunity to buy low too on Corbin Burns. He could be traded to like the Yankees.
Yeah, it's just I would advise you to trade for him, but I would also advise you to trade him just because you can get a bat that's like an impact bat that could like be a game changer. And then you can find like you could get Stroman right now for like not saying cheap, but like the production is overvaluing the trade value, I guess. Like you can easily get Stroman at like a reasonable price and call it a day.
Yeah, for sure. All right, well, that's enough to talk about pitching for right now. Let's get over to our next guy, Jose Abreu, first baseman for the Houston Astros. He's having another down year. There's almost going to be two in a row now, but he's the 17th first baseman on the season, down 88 spots on the dynasty rankings. Get this slash line. His current slash line right now, 225, 279, slugging 308. He only has 4 home runs.
Oh, my God.
He only had 15 home runs last year. The K percent is up almost 8%. Right now, his ISO is .083. A lot of people here in Chicago were very upset that the White Sox did not extend him or give him a contract. And they're actually starting to look like they may have been onto something because since leaving the White Sox, he's been downright bad.
Yeah, he sucks, Jason.
He's a wholly different. Yeah, no, don't get me wrong. His stock has been kind of trending down. He's now, I think, like 36 or 37 years old. He came over late. Yeah, he's 36. So it's not like he's been like a top
3-year deal, Jason.
But you're talking about a guy that was like he led the AL in RBIs, and he had a stretch of basically every year except for minus the COVID year, because obviously you can't get 100 RBIs then, and then one random year where he only played in 128 games in 2018. he had 100 RBIs every single year, including that 123 in 2019 that led the league. This was a guy that you could just like plug in as
set it and forget it type guy.
First baseman that just produced at your RBIs. And that, yeah, I mean, the home run totals too. He had a stretch every year so far. He's had, except for even the COVID year, he had 19 home runs. He's had 20 plus home runs every single year of his career too. And only 15 last year in 157 games. He only has 4 home runs right now in 72 games. So he's basically on pace for 8 home runs.
He's really bad and like completely out. You can't start him. Like it sucks because he's been someone you've relied on, and he's been that set it and forget it guy that if you have Jose Abreu on a dynasty team, you probably don't have another first baseman. Your other first baseman might be like a streamable guy.
Yep.
But like you can't even stream Abreu at this point. He's just been absolute bathwater.
Yeah, this is obviously the ECR on Fantasy Pro, so it's the expert consensus rankings, but some of these names that are below him is kind of shocking to me. Would you rather have Jose? These are back to back. So Jose Abreu or JD Martinez, coming from a fellow Sox player. JD Martinez or Jose Abreu?
But it's JD. Mm-hmm.
Chocolate chip? What is that? M&M?
M&M, yep. I had a bad day at work today, so my lovely fiance made me chocolate chip cookies.
Shout out Nick's fiance for the cookies.
She's waving.
Nice.
Probably JD.
Okay. What about Josh?
Actually, no, because JD is only utility, and that actually really matters to me.
Okay. I can see that. What about Josh Bell?
Mm-hmm.
Over Abreu?
Mm-hmm.
What about Ty France?
I don't know. I don't know what Ty France looks like this year.
I mean, Ty France would give you a lot of power, but still strikes out almost as much, probably not more. I'm trying to give you guys that like are in a similar
eligible still. I feel like he was like a weird.
Here's a good one: Jose Abreu or Rowdy Tellez.
Tellez every time, 10,000 times.
Yeah. So basically, if you own Jose Abreu, I think you may have missed your window to sell.
Yeah, he's gonna be.
GP says everyone is utility if you love them enough.
GP, just come on the show, buddy. Come in right now. Send him the link, Jason.
Don't spoil future episodes.
We'll see.
But yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I think you may have missed the sell window on Jose Abreu, unless maybe you could.
Caramel M&Ms? They're caramel M&Ms, Jason.
Oh my gosh! I mean, that's just up in the ante right there.
I'm marrying her for a reason.
Exactly. I'd say put a ring on that finger, but you already did. So
I already did. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know what you do more. What you can really do about this at this point? You just probably flip them for a couple dart throws. I think I'd rather even just flip them for dart throws at this point. Maybe like a 3rd, 4th round pick.
Yeah, you need more. That's what sucks.
It's like, no one's gonna sell him for that. But if I'm in a deep league and I own Jose Abreu, I'm looking to flip him. Like I said, I'd take like a dart throw prospect and like a 4th round pick.
Yeah, maybe a prospect that we'll talk about later in the show.
Okay, spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert.
All right, let's go back to the well of pitching. This one, Darvish, San Diego Padres starting pitcher. He is someone that kind of hurts me because I have him in 30 rock and only just for the innings, and hopefully that he continues to eat those innings. But anyways, so he's currently down 76 spots on the Dynasty ranks. He's SP 50 on the year. He's got a 4.74 ERA. The walks are up. He only has 4 quality starts. The home run rate is up this year as well. I don't know. This one I could see him still being serviceable. I think you could probably still sell him at a decent click. I'm trying to think. I'm trying to go through our training activity that we've been doing so far and see
this is because this one especially. So I'm gonna I'm going to take this from the perspective of you and the 30 Rock team that I know you have.
30 Rock's tough though because it's such a okay. But we'll run with it.
Yeah, something along those lines. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, sorry. Okay.
Yeah.
I thought you were asking me the questions.
No, you're asking me.
Okay.
I'm using your team as reference.
Okay, we'll go with pitchers right now.
Yeah.
And then we'll switch over to bats.
Yeah.
Joe Ryan.
Well, yeah. Okay. This is harder. Yes, 1000%. Yeah. I think you'll have to go down like 25 spots.
I'm gonna still keep going pitchers.
Oh, okay. That's fair.
Some of them are so it's ECR and it's really weird because like he's still ranked ahead of Yuri Perez, which is shocking to me.
Yeah.
That's the no-brainer. Jack Flaherty, I'd rather have Darvish.
Yeah, same here.
And like he's ranked ahead of Sonny Gray.
Yeah, just because of like certain fucking stats, just like.
Here's a good one. Here's a really good one.
Okay.
This will be the last one for pitchers. Lucas Giolito or Yu Darvish?
Giolito. Because he's gonna get traded.
Okay. I like the little context behind there. What about in a vacuum? Yeah. I'm gonna scroll down a little bit to get to some hitters. It's kind of getting like, you gotta trade it off a little bit. Josh Lowe, Tampa Bay.
So this is perfect. It would be Lowe and something for me.
Okay. Nico Horner.
Easy. I love Nico.
Okay.
So he has, but I love Nico.
Kirilloff.
Yeah, probably.
So Dap wants to know about Sandy Alcantara. We just talked about Sandy Alcantara when we were talking Corbin Burns.
Sandy Alcantara, yes, I would do that, Dap, just because if I'm gonna get shitty production, I might as well be from the younger guy. That's also has a high ceiling.
What about Matt Chapman?
Ooh, yeah.
That's a good one because he's having an outlier season right now. Yeah. He has had good seasons in the past. He's had a couple down seasons. Now he's back to being good again.
Yeah.
Chapman or Darvish?
Chapman.
Yeah, I think so too.
I'm kind of anti-pitcher this year. I feel like you can really find people on the margins. Like Elder's been awesome for the Braves.
Yeah.
Stroman's been awesome. It's just like you just got to find the right guys. And if you can really stream, it's very hard streaming in leagues that we're in just because they're pretty deep.
Right.
But if you can stream, just own a few like mid pitchers, like Michael Lorenzen's been good. Just there's so many of those just like middle tier guys that I think you could really stream and just like work towards like a more of like a staff by committee.
Yeah, I agree. Pitching's been so weird this year between the injuries and the inflated ERAs from everybody, except for the guys that you wouldn't think, like we were talking about earlier, like Stroman and stuff, having like the high end ERA. It's weird year for pitching. All right, we're gonna go back to the hitting. This one a little bit tricky because I don't know what he's having a down year, but not awful. So talking about Nolan Arenado, third baseman for the Cardinals. He's currently
bunch of old people we're talking about.
It's Dynasty, so it kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
Down 16 spots in the Dynasty rankings. He's currently the 7th third baseman on the year. His K rate's up, which has never been, he's always been a low K guy. The walk rate's down too. He's already grounded into 10 double plays, which is, kind of high for this part of the season. And he's right now, if you look at the advanced stats, he's basically either at or below all the advanced stats. He's chasing a ton of pitches out of the zone, which is hence the higher K rate. The numbers are there, and obviously we don't care about when in the game these stats are coming because a lot of these home run stuff have come like in garbage time, which has been almost all of Cardinals games have been garbage time. But
so bad. That's awesome for you.
I don't know the exact stats, but I can guarantee you a lot of his home runs have come in like the 7th, 8th, and 9th inning when they're down like 6 runs and they're like solo home runs. But regardless to say, third baseman is still a bit of a shallow position, which is hence why he's still 7th overall when it comes to the third base position. Buying, selling, or holding.
It's all dependent on your situation because the beginning of the year was very bad, but then he kind of turned it around. So if you are in the position of competing, you have to hold him just because you're not going to get the peak production from anywhere else unless you're getting someone that's like very good, but you're not. It's just so hard because the only team that would trade for him would be a contending team. And if you're a contending team, you don't want to trade Nolan Arenado to another contending team because that might screw you.
Yep.
It's just like the layers of trades in Dynasty Baseball that you really need to think about. So I would say hold. And then if you're in a position where your team's like lower tiered, then trade him, get some prospects for him. I don't know what range of prospects. Probably you might be able to get 250-ish guys, maybe 3 top 200 if like you're more of a quantity over quality guy.
Right.
But yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of indifferent on Arenado.
Yeah, I was really big on him when he was in Colorado, and like he's been decent in St. Louis.
Yeah, he's been fine.
He hasn't been that MVP caliber that he was in Colorado. Yeah. The Astros, he should just trade all of the Oakland Athletics players because that's how you get good value as a MLB GM. Just go out and get top performing Oakland Athletics, and then
I love Ryan Noda.
I know.
I think he hit a home run today.
He's been on fire. And you know what's funny is like really quick off story is in 30 Rock. I didn't have a lot of late round picks, which sucks because I missed out on a lot of guys. I took Blake Sable over Ryan Noda, both Rule 5 guys. Blake Sable's been okay, but he's been losing playing time a lot lately, and Noda's just been amazing all year. But back to Arenado and back to our training exercise of who would you rather. I'm going to keep it to third baseman for first off.
Chapman, yes.
Yeah, he's on there. Okay, but Alec Bohm.
Ooh.
Right?
I don't can you tell me anything about Alec Bohm this year? Has he been good or no?
RBI wise, yes. He's been a really good. I mean, I can't give you the exact number, but I know that he's been a pretty solid RBI contributor.
Depending on my team's position, I'd probably take Bohm, but like you know what? I'm going Bohm.
Okay. Real quick here, let me just give you that total. Yeah, he's missed a few games, but he is on base at 313, 45 RBIs, which I think is somewhere like in the top 25 of RBIs.
That's very good. Yeah. Yeah, I would definitely take him.
Keep Brian Hayes.
Arenado.
Jake Berger.
Arenado.
All right. Do you want to keep going on that, or do you want to go to like pitchers?
Give me one more hitter than 3 pitchers.
Third baseman or just hitter?
Don't care.
Okay. Give me 1 second. Let me filter back to
Bohm's sneaky old. 20.
Here's a good one. Here's a good one. They're back-to-back in the Dynasty rankings. Arenado or Brian Reynolds?
Brian Reynolds. Because
I was gonna ask you this one, but he's hurt now. So let's just say he's not hurt, and this is a guy that like you're pretty big on. Pasquantino or Arenado?
Vinny.
It's a little bit off because Pasquantino's younger, obviously by a lot.
Yeah,
but
Vinny. I've been trying to figure out what to offer for him in a couple leagues. Just
Pasquantino?
Yeah, just to kick the tires there because people don't. Maybe this off season's when you do it because
I don't know. I think right now might be a good time. Yeah. Maybe like in a month when you get closer to the end of the season, if like you're in a roto league.
If a person needs something,
yeah,
that's.
If he's like in second or third and looking for that piece that gets him over to the hump to first place, or right outside third. Exactly. Yeah, I mean, you could probably get him for somewhat on the cheap, just because he's out for the rest of the year.
Yeah,
and probably a little bit of next year too, possibly. So you might be able to get a little bit of a discount on him.
Yeah.
All right, well, that's going to be it for the Dynasty stock up and stock down. It's time for everyone's favorite part of the show.
Down on the farm.
Jason, it's my favorite part of the week. And I'm gonna pat myself on the back. This year's down on the farms, I have been absolutely killing. I think I've had 2, and both of them have seemed to don't want to say broken out, but we're getting some industry buzz on the 2 guys that I've talked about. So there's a lot of pressure on this week's. And we're talking about a 17-year-old, Jason. That 17-year-old is a pitcher. So those 2 things, either this guy is never going to play in the big leagues or he's going to be amazing. His name is Jeter Martinez. Yes, I am talking about someone named Jeter.
Real quick, when you told me who your down on the farm was, I like most people, I throw in Fangraphs, put in the name, and on Fangraphs it gives you the birthday. The birthday came up from his birthday was 2006. I had to take a double take. Go ahead with your assessment on.
Dude doesn't even know that Mike Lowell played for the Red Sox.
Exactly.
Right. So we don't have a lot on him.
Right.
But
he's not even stateside.
No, he signed with the Mariners this past January for $600,000, which the numbers is something I really always look at, especially when we're talking about an organization like the Mariners. Mariners are a team that they're in my trust tree. Rays in the trust tree. You trust what these organizations do. I've been talking about this for years now. So he's had 2 starts in the Dominican Summer League.
Mm-hmm.
In those 2 starts, we have 10 innings, 3 hits, 1 walk, and 13 strikeouts. When I'm watching these videos, and yes, there are videos, so that's good. There is actual movement. His release is clean. It's not erratic. I really trust him. I can't trust a 17-year-old fucking pitcher. But right. I really wanted to dig deep here, and I'm excited about being excited about a pitching prospect because I'm not. And he was available in my 24-team league that has some very sharp-minded people. So I was excited to see him. And then now he's just some of them kind of, I don't want to say tying my wagon to, but someone that I am just
monitoring.
Just going to monitor and pay more attention to him. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, in any deep leagues, he should absolutely be owned. I think a lot of times, the DSL guys and the overseas the Caribbean guys, they take a little bit longer to come stateside. Then they get into stateside and they play complex league for low A, high A. So it takes a little bit longer for them. But if this is Dynasty, you're talking about a guy that's maybe 5 years from now, he could be one of the top pitching prospects. That's a big maybe.
I mean, what if he is?
Yeah. You heard it here first on the On Deck Circle.
From Nick.
Yeah. Also, you were touting your on the farm. I touted Andrew Abbott 4 or 5 weeks ago.
Yeah, that was I'm throwing deep fades. You're throwing screen passes.
This is true.
Slant over the middle. We knew about Andrew.
Well, they both go to the house. They both score 6 points.
Depends on the day. Playing defense. But no, you are correct. I cannot believe how good he's been. Did not see that coming at all.
The Reds, man, they just keep producing.
The Reds are so fun.
They still have Noel Marte. They still have Christian Strand. I can't pronounce his name.
Cam Collier. I mean, he's further down the line, but still, they've got guys. I have a question for you, Jason.
What's up?
In that league, that my 24-team league, I'm good. In my record is not good, but my season stats, I'm 3rd in the league. So season stats, I'm 3rd. My overall record, I'm 15th out of 24. Just having awful luck.
This is head-to-head, right?
Yep. This is my league. I traded this week JT Real Muto, who we've spoken about recently.
And I almost put him on the list tonight, but I didn't want to go too long in the names. But yeah, he's having a bad year.
Awful. My other catchers are Blake Sable, someone we already spoke about today, and Connor Wong. Two guys that I was fine with just streaming whoever, because Real Muto wasn't really doing much. And this is a deal that I don't want to say I patted myself on the back for, because I didn't. But We'll start with Luis Urias, who was hurt at the beginning of the year. Whatever, he's been not great so far this year, but he only has 41 at bats, still only 26. And the next one is a prospect that I've loved since I didn't get to draft him, Mr. Harry Ford. Like another catcher, a catching prospect who might not stick a catcher.
Yep.
He's having like a decent year. He's in high A, could be in double A soon. I'm excited just for the upside there. And just the Real Muto has like maybe a year left before he's Salvador Perez and doesn't hit home runs. It's just kind of, I think I did pretty well there.
Yeah, I think so too. Like I said, I almost put Real Muto on this list today to talk about for Dynasty Stock Down. I think we're also probably a year away from him losing catcher eligibility, which is what was the allure to Real Muto, was that catcher position eligibility. And we're probably getting close to the end of that at some point here soon too. So he may no longer be that cheat code that is catcher position.
Exactly.
And I think Harry Ford is one of those names. It's like when we were doing first year player drafts, he was a big name, but since then he's kind of under the radar a little bit, kind of almost forgotten about. Henry Davis just got called up.
Dude, the same thing. Like those catching prospects, except for Adley, but he did go 1-1. They kind of they lose their luster pretty quick just because you see the bat first in first year player drafts and you're like, oh, he's a bat first guy. My first year player draft, I drafted Zach Collins just because I was like, oh, this guy mashes. But then he couldn't really mash or really catch. So catchers are kind of volatile, especially in first-year player drafts. But, I mean, if Ford does nothing, whatever. But, like, he could be my catcher for the next 5 years, 10 years, depending on if he sticks.
Yeah. All right, man. Well, it was good being back live again tonight.
Heck yeah.
Back on our normal schedule.
Next week?
What's that?
Good. We're good for next week. I was just
you're going to run through your calendar through your head?
Yeah.
I think I'm good for next week too. So we might actually get back on our live streaming grind here for the On Deck Circle. Hopefully the rest of the summer.
It's the 4th of July week.
It'll be the 5th of July though. So.
Oh yeah, I'm actually good on the 5th of July. I'll be in Maine, but that's fine. I don't know.
Oh, okay. Where are you going in Maine? Portland?
Babe, where do we go in Maine?
Kennebunkport?
Oh, we're going to York.
Oh, all right.
Maybe I'll take a day to go see Marcelo Mayer.
There you go. All right, man. I'll see you next week.
See you, bud.